Eastern Standard Time. The Association podcast brought to you by the University of Fantasy Basketball. I'm your host, Dr. Dane Andre, and I'm with our distinguished professor, Kilonomics. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I am doing great. Happy to be back. Happy to talk b-ball, man. Let's get into it, man. How are you feeling?
Good, man. A little tired, but I'm pumped, man. When I'm talking about the association, I just get I'm ready to laugh, man.
All right, man. Well, before we get started, man, I got a little bit of a question for you. So we play in a number of leagues together. Some kind of our homegrown leagues, some like international, right? And so many of these leagues we run on Discord, and we set up a trade block channel, right? So that folks can advertise the different players, right, that they may have on the block.
Okay, yeah.
So in a particular 30 team league, right, people are listing off their players. And so one owner decides to and I quote, name, the players on his trade block. First of all, what do you think the trade block channel is for?
I think it's to advertise the players you want to trade.
Okay, advertise. All right, all right. That's a key word. Advertise the players you want to trade. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. De declare them available, if
Okay,
you will.
declare. All right. So you tell me what you think of when you hear, all right, Jordan Goodwin, AJ Lawson, Jackson Hayes, available for cheap. If anyone wants a possible contributor on a minimum contract, they all helped me get second place last year, and now they can help you. What's your response?
Who did you say?
I said Jordan Goodwin, AJ Lawson, Jackson Hayes, all available from the team that finished second place.
I know a little bit of I know Jackson Hayes's work. Um, I'm not necessarily interested. The other guys I don't know. Jordan Goodwin I know I guard for I know he used to play in Phoenix at one point. I have no idea where he's playing now. Does he play?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I quickly like skimmed the players and then I got pissed off once I got to like the whole advertisement of come get these players that finished on the second place team. So, I tend to be active, right? And I can give a response here and there, right? So I sent a comment. I definitely don't want any of those guys if they helped you get second place.
They didn't help him get second place, man.
I said only advertise the end of the roster players that were part of the ring ceremony. Like got right to the point. Like I'm basically like, yo, you're gonna put a poop ladder. Like you don't have to give all the theatrics.
You don't gotta advertise those guys.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's
but thanks for letting us know
no
that they're
no
available.
no. But it continues. So
Okay.
so minutes later, the owner goes, I beat the SGA and Jokic team to get to the finals. Kindly STFU. We are kid friendly.
No way.
So I said, okay, somebody wants my time today.
Somebody wanted some smoke.
Yeah.
Actually, this, did anybody else respond that they were interested?
Nobody's gonna respond. I mean, you got to send out a message or a whole sales speech like that into a league that's competitive. Like, man, I thought you were just doing it just because you just wanted to shoot the breeze and you were just bored.
Trade blocks are tough, man. We put out trade block announcements all the time, and even names that you are familiar with sometimes
Hmm.
get no traction. In some cases these are household names, and you may not get any kind of hits on your advertisement. So, but that's very generous of him to offer his bottom bottom of the roster guys, and you know, best of luck to him, and don't be a hater. If you don't
Yeah,
want him, just if you don't got nothing nice to say, man, just keep it moving, I guess.
man, man, if you just want to list your players, you don't want to be bothered, then just put those players' names down and then just move on. But if you you trying to give,
He
these
doesn't want to he doesn't want to drop him. He wants to trade him.
wants to
So
trade them,
yeah,
yeah,
maybe he can get a draft pick or something.
in the league.
All right, fair enough, man. Well, speaking of the bottom, man, we've got we tonight we're talking about the bottom four teams. Um, from last this past 2024 season. So we're just gonna do a little recap, little you know overview. Let us know where people kind of stood and in their journey for association relevancy. Um, let's start with our first team, man. Got the Boston Bombers. Look, if you see this roster, you see names like Halliburton, you see names like Zach LaVine, Kevin Durant, um, you know, Derek Lively. I mean, I mean, got some talent. RJ Barrett's in there. I, that, I don't know what do you think went wrong here, man? They finished 64 and 95. Um, you know, started the season rough, didn't get a win till week five. Um, I don't know. What do you see go wrong here, man?
So, I mean, this has got me thinking kind of back. So one player I know that definitely struggled was Tyrese Halliburton. I had him in absolutely one league, because I was a Halliburton hater, but it was a Roto league. But I said, all right, Roto, this is the perfect format. And he was just awful to start the season. Like, there was a lot of chatter about, is this guy really worth the contract? What a bust, blah, 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 blah. Um, and so I can't remember the exact details. He might have been working his way from like an injury. And so because of the injury, he had a slow start. So it took Halliburton a while to get going. So, that was pretty tough. KD came out with a bang, but he was like in and out of the lineup. Denny was hot especially towards the end of the season. It might have just been, right, this team just didn't click all at the same time. And so the chemistry was just off. The vibes were just off in the locker room. Um, it kind of suck, right, to not get any contribution from your number one draft pick too, right? That's kind of tough. I'm still pretty high on Reed Shepard, but it looks like he's gonna need some more time to kind of get
Yeah.
going.
So, I mean, you heard the names on the roster. What did you think about the fact that they basically came in? Their only addition really was as you mentioned, Reed Shepard, who was drafted number one overall. Um, and other than that, really had a, you know, uh, I guess notable pickup in Lonzo Ball towards the latter half of the season. But not much movement in the offseason or during the season really for this team. Do you think that was a mistake?
They certainly should have explored the trade market. They've got a lot of good young pieces, right? I'm looking at the full roster, right? They've got players like Shaden Sharp. They've got the GG Jacksons, right? A bunch of players that are unfortunately not contributing this season. And so, I mean, I think it's sending the wrong message to players like Kevin Durant, right? You got Kevin Durant, for, you know, on borrowed time. And so I think anytime you've got like an aging star or a star that's up there in price, you really gotta kind of push those chips in, or at least put a healthy product out there. And I think this owner might have been a little bit slow to put together something that I mean was just accumulating stats on a week to week basis.
Yeah, you mentioned Tyrese Halliburton's slow start to the season. I think can't remember what his averages were, but I know he in the first 5 games he was shooting like 30 something percent from the field. Um, very low in assists, like below his standard. And then but despite all of that, he what I think he played 73 games for the season
Yep.
and finished number 3 overall in totals. Um, so really, by all standards, a really strong season from Halliburton. I mean, KD himself, still a top 30-ish player. Played 62 games last season. So I mean, that's probably what you would expect for KD at this point in his career, right? You'd like more, but the guy who typically misses a lot of time for them, Zach LaVine, he played 74 games. I mean, that's I think outstanding for him, more than you would expect from him.
Mhm.
And he was pretty good, top 50 player in totals last year. Averaged 23 points, three threes, um, 4 assists, solid uh percentages. I think yeah, over 50% shooting and then about 82% from the line. Really, really good numbers. So like you said, it's probably a an issue where you didn't see the lineup really click all at the same time, or maybe just a bad combination of I don't know. You'd expect more from this team, I think.
Yeah, man, it's been a tough roller coaster, right? And I mean, I took a little deep dive to look at like how this team has performed historically, right? So the Bombers has been in the league since 2013. Um, Most notable, their best season was in 2020 when they finished third, and third was like the COVID year, right? We didn't even actually, finish the
Mm-mm.
season, right? But
No.
that's, where they were at in the regular season. So I mean, that's still something to note. And they won 9 out of 15 matchups that year. But I mean, I just go down the line, and I mean, this team is like a 10 matchup a season win team, right? And so I think they've got to figure out a way to put a roster together that can get like 12, 13 matchup wins because, 9.5 is not going to cut it. And this past year, 4 matchups. One, two, three, 4 matchups. Man, that's disgraceful, man. Like
Yeah.
you can't beat the Bombers and come out and win 4 matchups, man, out of 18 weeks, man. Your fans are gonna start believing you. They're gonna put, you know, masks and costumes and all the stuff that fans do when they feel embarrassed and um just don't have, pride within the home team. So,
So we
this
talked a little bit about what happened, but now we're in the off season. Um, how do we move forward? You've got you see the top 5 players there, and Halliburton, Durant, Levine, Thea, and KCP from last season. You'd want to make sure maybe a guy like Lively or somebody is in there going forward, but that's who performed for them last year. This 5 alone takes them way over the cap, the soft cap for next year. Um, what do you think? I mean, you look at the numbers for KD, to retain him on his current deal. You're talking about almost $150 in salary. Then Halliburton. Let's address the elephant in the room. What do you do with Halliburton? He's coming. He's not going to play next season. He's due to make 113. So you see, there's going to be some decisions to make here. for this team. What do you think this team needs to do to move forward, man?
And you got to blow it up and do the Cupid shuffle, man. This team has gotta they gotta throw the cards in, man. This team ain't got no spades, man. Like it's just not a good look right now. Right now, um, given some of the cap pressures, and just where the health is of the overall roster, I think it's time to reach out to teams, see if there's places that they can get some of their aging or injured stars new homes. Um, because this is just not enough, man. They need to start getting in maybe asset allocation, or maybe they play the game and let their players test free agency, right? See if they can get a better deal on the open market, and maybe they can bring them back for a hometown discount or some contract restructuring, right? Like that's got to be in the calculus. So if there's I think it's a tear down. I think it's a tear down, you know, and really just kind of rebuilding it back up, man. It's just been too many years, too long. Um, I think they've got to try something new. What are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's going to be tough to like Halliburton is definitely going to be in the open market, right? I mean, you can't resign him at that number. You got to see if you can get it back on a cheaper deal or let him play the open market. I don't know. But yeah, he's going to miss all of next year pretty much. So, um, KD 147. I know he's on a new team now, going to the Rockets, but I mean, he's what turning, is he 35 now? 36? I don't know. It's like,
Uh,
I mean, I don't know. I don't think you can hold on to him, but I mean, we've seen stranger things happen in this league. So,
Man, that's a poverty franchise move, man. You signing KD to 145, man. That's like what the Suns did, man, when they sent all the Nets players and picks for KD. Like that, it just doesn't make any sense given kind of the roster. Like you can't
yeah,
hold on to him. He's gonna ask to leave by the All-Star
yeah.
break.
And then to add insult to injury, they fill out the top four in terms of the rookie draft, the upcoming rookie draft. So they have the number seven pick, and you just hope they can bring someone in. The team typically drafts well from the rookie draft. Hopefully they land someone that could be impactful for them next year. But other than that, man, I think it's due. They're due for a reboot. All right. Well, let's move on to our next team. Um, Steve Blake Express. Steve Blake Express, man, it's got some talent for sure, but didn't have a great season last year. Finished the season before as the 14th team.
You said last year, the year before, 2 years before that, 3 years before that, man. Come- This
Don't
team
do
is
that.
nah, this team hasn't been good since 2018,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Tell us the history, man.
This team has not been good since 2018. We're talking about double-digit finishes. One, two, three, four, five, 6 times. 6 for 6. If we extended all the way back to when this team started back in 2013, they've only had one, two, three finishes, three playoff, three playoff finishes, man. Something's not working, man. Something's not working.
Well, I will say I thought their offseason last year was very notable. Signed Fred VanVleet, uh, Jimmy Butler, you know, Damian Lillard, among guys, and they were very active during the season. I thought made a few trades, um, and I thought kept adding players to the profile of their team. They're so you would think maybe they're kind of heading in the right direction? What do you say about that?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Like my criticism has always been they've tried to build kind of a five category team and I think that's it's just a little bit of difficult, kind of given some of the nature of it being a weekly league. There's injuries that kind of pop up here and there. So I think that's not really a winning strategy. And it's also pretty tough to nail down five categories consistently in a league of this size, in my experience. And so I agree with you. I like that they are at least trying something different. Um, they are looking at different builds in a way. They are starting to build up the bank of assets, of young assets or cheap assets. And I think that's going to be key as they continue to build on um, the players that they have now. I can't say success clearly, right? Because they finished 14th and they only won three matchups. Wow, three matchups. That is insane. Um, but I mean, you look at all these players, and I mean, I mean, a lot of their big time salary guys were just often injured players. And so I think with another year with some of the kind of the young core, they can bring in some good talents around the edges as well as maybe a star or two to kind of lead this team.
Yeah, agreed. What do you like about what they did in the offseason, in terms of any players that you thought were um your favorite acquisitions?
I mean, Dame Lillard is definitely up there. Um, I like the trade to bring in Claxton, right? Because he offers blocks and rim protection. Um, Draymond Green, not the biggest fan of, but was probably gotten for relatively cheap. Um, and then I mean they just got a pretty young core, right? With Klingon and Koulibaly, and of course, Amen Thompson, right? Like that guy's gonna be a star. Is
Yeah,
pretty clear.
that's their crown jewel right there, I think. Our man finishing in the top 50 in totals last year, so he's definitely coming up. And then at late season, drafted got one of your guys, Brooklyn's own Nick Claxton. Who probably will be on this team next year, I would think. What's the story with Claxton?
I mean, it's the story with the Nets, right? The Nets are trying to tank, but they're also not trying to intentionally tank. They still want to develop players. And so, you know, Claxton is going to be pulled, right, if he's not playing well. Um, and if he is playing well, he's probably going to be pulled, right? So, right, he's certainly going to be capped as far as like the amount of minutes and the things that he's going to be asked to do because they're not looking for, say, the next year or two or the current season. The Nets are looking more further out. So, it'll kind of be interesting to kind of see what Claxton's development looks like. I mean, you kind of want to hope that he gets moved if you want him to reach his full potential and like the Claxton that we fully had, say about a year or two ago before he got the contract. And so I think there's just a lot of directions that it can go, kind of given what the Nets are trying to do in developing a very young team.
Yeah, so cap wise, I think they're in a good position for next season. Again, the top five guys that we saw for them last year are only take up 63% of their projected cap for next season. So Really, I mean, they've got a lot of room to continue building on this young core. Got the number 4 pick in the draft, rookie draft coming up. So, you know, keep last year they had the number 4 pick as well. Took Donovan Clingan. He probably more of a kind of a fit um build fit for him. Kind of fits, he's got type. So um we'll see what happens with the pick this year. What do you any guys in the top 5 you like for this team?
Man, there's so many guys. So the obvious guys are Flag and Harper, but those guys are going to be gone. VJ, I mean, he's gone, right? Like, forget about it. Then after that, you see a lot of Ace, right? There's either Ace or VJ. Um, and so 5 is a pretty nice spot. I mean, this is a spot where I'm targeting Trey Johnson 9 times out of 10. Um, if you want to get real crazy, you can get it Igor, right, from the Nets. Um, but I warn you, um, it can go a lot of different ways. And the Nets have a lot of different rookies, and they're still trying to win games. And when I say win games, not win games, they're still playing winning basketball. It's not that they're trying to win games. They're still playing winning basketball. Um, And so it's kind of tough, right? Because if he struggles, I don't know kind of what leash he's going to be given. Um,
So what's your advice for Steve Blake Express next year
for next year,
for this upcoming off season?
for this upcoming off season, I
Well, we're
mean,
already in it. We actually
uh,
have several moves that have been made
I, I
already.
I think he's got to start to pick up the phone, man, and kind of feel out the market and see, kind of what's the demand on some of his current players, or maybe try to acquire maybe a mid-tier player that someone might be trying to offload, right? There's some teams that's trying to consolidate. Maybe that's an opportunity to pick up some key assets. Um, that's what I would be looking to do. And then, right, certainly the aging guys like the Fred VanVleet and the Draymond Greens, the Mikal Bridges, although he's not aging, it's just kind of his role, depending on what his cost is.
Oh,
Um,
he's
you
gonna
know,
be like $51 next year.
Yeah, 51. No, I can't do Mikal. 51. That's $51, man. Give me those kids, man. I'm not doing Mikal for $51. Um, yes, I mean it's funny. It's funny. I'm looking at the list. The only 2 players I'm probably looking at building off of is just Amen and Nick Claxton. The others just don't do it for me. They're either just kind of too much volatility given kind of their age and where they're at in their career, or just not a big enough role.
Yeah, yeah.
What would be your 3 biggest moves you do with this team?
No, I mean, nothing different. I'm definitely most likely building around him, and you can keep clinging if you want. Claxton's there. Um, I like having a guy like Fred VanVleet. You determine whether that's a number that he's going to be $86 next year. Um,
Yeah, you
you know,
got to
you
re
think about whether that's going to be worth it for you. But I mean, even if not, like I said, you're going to have money to blow. So, you know, um, you know, I, you know, Bilal Coulibaly's still there, on a cheap deal. Isaiah Collier, was a nice pickup for them, I thought. And then, yeah, Draymond's $24. Veteran leadership is always valuable, in my opinion. So, I think they've got
yeah,
room to continue to build.
yeah.
Just gotta
S-
pick the right guys.
Especially the veterans that will knock you out like Super Punch Out. Definitely want to have those guys in the locker room to keep everybody in check.
Well, on this roster, there's no Jordan Poole, but there is a D'Angelo Russell. I'll knock that guy out, for sure.
Yeah, D'Angelo.
All right, let's move on to the next team. Um, the Kings of Kings Landing. Um, this is an interesting team, man. I keep every time I look at this roster, I think it's kind of like the Bombers, but for whatever reason, I just don't think the pieces fit together. But they've got so much talent on this roster, I think. Um, top to bottom, I mean, guys that you probably don't even, oh yeah, you'll see them on here, but you got a front line of Jaren Jackson Jr., Bam Adebayo, you got uh marketing. He hasn't really played much, but um, Julius Randle's there. He's not even on this graphic, but they've got guys who can put up numbers, man. The guard core is really, pretty decent. Tyler Hero, all-star Tyler Hero. Kobe White, you know, was a flamethrower this year. Norman Powell, man. Norman Powell was a borderline all-star this year. He's off to a new city and joining Tyler Hero in Miami. Um, I mean, what do you feel like went wrong for this team, man? They finished dead, I mean, second to last in the rankings.
I think a lot was out of this team's control to a certain extent. I think they just dealt with some pretty tough injuries, right? Or players that just were not playing the game of basketball. I mean, you talk about Kawhi Leonard. I mean, this owner probably waited a little bit too long to finally move him. Also Tyrese Maxey, right? I mean, I know he had the injury and then kind of Philly fell out of competition, so he was rested. Um, Laurie
Yeah.
Marketing, like you already spoke to at length. I know Malik Monk also struggled with kind of injuries. Um,
Yeah, and actually the three of those guys that you named, Kawhi, Monk, and Maxi all ended up on my team when we did the trade together, and that's how they got Markin and Kobe White and Hero. So they actually acquired guys who were playing, with the exception of Marketing, I guess. Marketing, missed a lot of time, but they still had a lot of guys who I guess potentially would have played solid minutes for them. But yeah, it just still didn't work out.
yeah, I mean, the other thing, I mean, you could go to kind of roster construction, right? Like you look at these guys and there are guys that play basketball. Do they play basketball together well? I mean, I don't know. That's kind of that's kind of a good question, right? And maybe something that they should put on the whiteboard and, have everybody in their front office discuss because I mean, that's kind of been the biggest mystery, right? Are all the guys that they're putting together trying to play basketball together? I mean, it almost, I keep just thinking about the Phoenix Suns because of how much that was a catastrophe. But the reason why I'm thinking about it with King's Landing is because, right, they had Beal for quite a bit of time. Like, I don't remember if he had Beal this year.
He
He
didn't
might
have
have,
Beal. No, he didn't. I had Beal.
right?
Yes.
Right. But there were so many seasons where like Beal wasn't playing or it just wasn't meshing with the roster. And so that was pretty tough for him. But I mean,
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing is if they can figure out identity, kind of plug up some of their holes, right? Like, um, I think they made some good trade acquisitions, right? So I think they have a good path forward, right, to kind of jump at that question a little bit early. So I think they're trying something, which is
yeah. Like I said, Hero played 77 games last year, which I've never seen him play that many games. Uh, Kobe White played 74 games. Um, Randall even played 69 games, which is, there's some games here and there. Bam played 78 games. Jaren Jackson played 74 games. I mean, it is something's off. I mean, something's off, man. Like, okay, you acquired marketing, he only played 47 games. That's just over half the games in the season. And then you had Jeremy Grant, who only played 47 games. But again, it's Jeremy Grant. Like, you know, I, did you really miss Jeremy Grant that much? And then Aaron Gordon, who I think probably starts some games for them. Maybe he played 51 games. I mean, like even if you're saying, okay, Norman Powell only played 60 games, I mean, you kind of still have enough there to be competitive. So what, like, I'm thinking it's a team chemistry thing, right?
Gotta be, man. It might just be an oath, man. It's just celibacy to winning, man. Just the Night's Watch, man. He's just all good, man. Like winning is just maybe this is just not in this team's cards, man. I look at kind of the history of the franchise, man, and you're talking about a team. I mean, given they're still relatively young speaking, right? They joined the association in 2017. They win about 7 matchups a year. Uh,
2017?
2017 is what I have written down. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we should double check that, right? But yeah, 2017 is what I've got. And then 2018 was their best year.
I'm I'm
2018,
I'm thinking that nah, it can't be 27.
it is.
I'm thinking they've been only on for maybe 6, 7 seasons. Oh yeah, well, I guess
That
that's right.
that's
That's
what
right. You're right.
happens. That's what
Yeah,
happens,
damn.
man.
Wow.
That's what happens, man. When you're struggling, man, it just all just comes together,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, wow.
It's just this.
2017. Okay.
Yeah, man. And so I remember because my championship run in 2018, I faced them in the playoffs, and that was like popcorn, courtside TV. Like, I literally won that matchup on like the last day by like a steal. Like literally, he needed like Steph Curry or somebody to get a steal, which is like his favorite player. And he just couldn't do it. So I beat him by one steal. And ever since that steal, man, this franchise has never recovered. Never recovered. Dr.
I
Dane
I
Andre,
I know all
literally
about that.
11th, 15th, 14th, 13th, 9th, 15th. Like they're still
Deep
just
depression.
deep depression, just struggling. And so I think maybe this might be therapy. This
Mm,
might be therapy, right? Like, putting it all out there, them, kind of hearing, some of the commentary from us might just be able to unlock the spell.
yeah, they've got some deep thinking to do this season. They got to do some soul searching, but I'll say again, I like the players. Last year they did great drafting Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle. And they've got the number 6 pick this coming up this season. The cap numbers are looking a little strange coming up this season. I think there's some decisions to be made, but I think if I'm not mistaken, Bam and JJJ like are making some insane
What are we
figure.
talking
Well,
about?
actually,
What
nah, maybe not insane, but I don't know. Depending on how you feel
what were
about
we
them, but
what are we talking about?
like I think Bam is going to be like $99. JJJ is going to be 95. Um,
And
I,
he's coming in with the knee injury,
he,
$95.
and he's gonna miss time this season to start the season. It's looking like some decisions to be made. Tyler Hero and marketing are both gonna be like 50 plus in salary next year. So you're
That's
talking about
that's pretty
well,
good value.
it's pretty good value, but if marketing is gonna play 40 something games, I mean, like that's kind of disappointing. You got to play more games if I'm gonna pay you that much. He's worth it, but
Well, I in another league, I traded for him. It was a huge risk. Um, I only had to give up Johnny Collins. The reason why he was traded to me for Johnny Collins was mostly because of salary considerations. Um, it's just he's got to get off of Utah. Utah is a hot mess. Ainge, season in and season out, right, is clearly just not trying to win games and will bench his key players. And so I think for marketing and Kings Landing to win, and also me, since I've got some shares of marketing on some teams,
So do I.
he needs to get traded. He cannot play for that team. There
I
is
was
just they will not play him in March. Like if there's one thing I can advise any marketing owner, if it doesn't look like he's getting traded, ship him. Even if it's for like 75% on the dollar, just ship him. Like it's just not worth
well,
the headache.
since you're bringing up potential lawyer marketing trades, give me a favorable destination for you.
Marketing. I mean, the obvious one is right if we can get him to the Warriors, right? Like
Hmm. I like that.
The Warriors is just a match made in heaven, right? They can get some big time shooting at the three, get pretty good size. Um, you know, looks pretty good, with feel on the floor, right? So maybe he can pick up the Warriors offense relatively easy. Um, you know who could have used him? The Cavs.
Incidentally
Which
enough, right?
which is kind of hilarious when you think about it. Um, ooh,
Yeah.
no, the Knicks don't work. I'm kind of,
I like the Golden State fit. I think that would be an interesting one.
you know, a low key good one if they could figure it out is Minnesota. If we can get them on the Wolves,
Put him next to
get rid of Rudy Gobert, have Randall play the center.
I was thinking about putting him next to Rudy, but
Oh, really?
yeah, I mean,
Because you got Jalen.
You want Randall running like
So
Randall and trying to guard nobody down there?
Randall looked like a
Who's
pip.
he and Randall and marketing? Who are they gonna stop?
They're not gonna stop anybody, but the hopes is that they can put up enough buckets, right?
But offense is not their problem, is it?
I mean, I
I
don't
guess
know.
defense. I mean,
Defense is a problem too. Like Rudy ain't stopping nobody, man. And I hear people, the advanced analytics people say all sorts of nonsense. No, it's not Rudy's fault. And I'm like, nah, man, it's Rudy's fault. Like if people scoring or he's not scoring, it's Rudy's fault. Like he is clearly a problem once it gets past, a first round playoff series.
yeah. I mean, they can play him off the floor, but I feel like I'd rather have somebody that looks like they can, you know, protect the rim than marketing and Randall. That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
fair.
we'll see. All right. Well, let's move to our last team, which a lot of the drama, a lot of issues around this one, man. Good old Solid State, man. Franchise up for sale. Um, you know, their two main guys pretty much in street clothes most of the year, if not all the year. I mean, you could start in the off season, last year's off season, and kind of pick it apart. But I mean, if I look back at that draft, I mean, there's some things that I thought they should have done that didn't happen. And yeah, I think this is the result, man. You finished dead last in the standings. You invest money into, Joel Embiid, and I mean, I know the Joel Embiid experience as well as anybody. I had him for what, maybe six straight seasons.
Mhm.
I mean, he was good for me, but just couldn't rely on him, unfortunately. Um, yeah, what'd you think about Solid State's year?
I'm gonna go with they got unlucky. Like I'm not a big Joel Embiid guy, but he usually give you about 50 games. How many games did he give him this season? How many we talking about? 19. 19
Yeah, I was like, I
games,
don't think it was 20. Yeah.
right? 19 games, right? And so that's rough. And then Paul George only gave you a half a season at 41, and nobody expected Paul George to be as bad as he was this season. Um,
It was really bad.
Um, this was just this was just abysmal, man. Like, those were the big time free agents, right? And those guys didn't deliver. Mark Williams is still struggling to stay on the floor, right? I mean, how did this man fail the physical, right? To be shipped back and returned from the Lakers back to the Hornets. Like, that's just been a complete, you know what. And so
I know.
I just think it was, they tried to put all their cards into, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, you highlighted it, right? It was guys that are often injured. They took a big swing and they struck out. They finished 16th, man, 16th. Um, but that's how it goes sometimes. That's how it goes sometimes. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, you look at it, I mean, Sabonis did his job. Um, had some good contributions from guys like Malik Beasley, who took a gamble on, uh, no pun intended. Um, got Sexton um had a solid season in Utah again, and he's headed to Charlotte now, but yeah, just not much else there. I mean, they drafted Buzelis last year. He looks interesting. But as far as like you don't really know where to go. I mean, do you try to run it back? Would you try to run it back with Paul George? He's coming back with a friendly $66 contract next year. Um, I can't do Embiid again, right? At $99. I mean,
I I mean, Embiid was obvious. I mean, yeah. I mean, $95 wasn't awful, but like I'm just unwilling to play Embiid anything over like $50, and even that I might not do. I might just be like, you know what, I'll just let it be somebody else's problem. And hopefully it's just a bomb that just implodes on them just because you don't know what he's gonna do, how many games he's gonna play. Like even if he is healthy, he's not gonna play the full week, right? He's got kind of ongoing kind of knee maintenance. And it's like both knees, I think, at this point. I mean, Philly, man, what a mess. What a mess. And then Paul George, man, is just, I don't know. I think he's just good. I think he got his money. He's doing his podcast.
yeah.
He's just good. That's kind of the vibes I get. That's kind of the vibes I get from and that's not to take anything away from him. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
He's just been through a lot. He's just decided, I'm sure this is kind of the end of the road.
Yeah, I mean, 43% shooting last year, only averaged 16 points in the uh what 41 games that he played last year. I mean, that's not what he was drafted to do there. So, um, I think like you said, Solid State just got a little unlucky, but I don't know, but did you I don't know. I feel like when you draft those two guys, you kind of have to expect this kind of
Yeah,
outcome, right?
you gotta be a more active manager if you're drafting those two guys. The other thing is, right, I just thought about it like Paul George, like that's a tough move. You moving from sunny, always partly cloudy, Southern California to Philly, like just from a climate standpoint, like that is.
It's not good vibes.
right? That's not a like you just think about the mental, right? And he's not one of the mentally strongest person that I think about that can handle like a you moving from like a warm climate to now like the winter and the cold kind of I mean just even that atmosphere in Philly, right?
I mean, I think what it is if I had to guess what Paul George was thinking, he's like, well, I've done Indiana before, right? I've done Oklahoma City. I I should be able to do Philly, right? Like, it's not California, but it's still a major city, good, very good media market. Um, I, I don't know. I just think maybe sometimes it comes off as maybe he's not as interested in basketball. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading that wrong, but
Nah, that's certainly the vibes I get, man. He's just kind of moved on, right? And then didn't he have the time where he stopped doing his podcast for a little bit or something?
I don't know, man, because I don't watch that podcast. I
I,
don't
I,
watch
I
enough of him,
stopped. I
but
stopped. I stopped. I stopped. I used to like it. Like I used
I
to like when he used to have the players
I've
like early on,
I've
but
seen
then
some shorts, but it seems like he's had some good conversations on it, but for the most part, I think I personally was just so upset with him from the season before because he's also another guy who was on my team the year before
Mhm,
and just couldn't get it done for me. So I just didn't want to see anything from him, and that's just how it is sometimes with these guys. But you hit on something before, talked about how active you might need to be when you draft uh, a couple of guys like Joel Embiid, like Paul George. But this team didn't really do much this offseason. They really made two pickups the whole year. No trades, no nothing.
two.
Two pickups.
It's not a serious owner, man.
No.
Not a serious owner.
And it speaks to why this franchise is up for sale. And you know, we're talking about Philly. The rumors are we have a new owner coming in who is actually from Pennsylvania, might be a Sixer fan. So, um, if the deal goes through, and we do get this new owner, it'd be interesting to see what their thoughts are on Joel and PG. Is he still 13? Is he still PG 13? Oh, I don't know.
What he is.
Paul George and Joel Embiid is interesting because they also have Kelly Kelly Oubre, who's another Sixer on this team.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I don't know. They've got only 48% of their projected cap tied up into their top five performance from last year. So they could do some things. But if they let some guys walk, they'll have some room to rebuild this team. And then again, they've got a top five pick. So you might see a guy like Ace Bailey maybe join the club, or one of those other guys that fall from um, I mean, that fall out of the top four. So
Mhm.
it's looking up. It's looking up for the new owner. Adding to the Zealous. Mm, Sabonis is still there. I don't know if you what you think
Yeah.
about his numbers for next season, but it's pretty high, I think. I want to say it's like 120 or so, if I'm not mistaken. 120,
Uh,
123,
yeah,
123.
he's gonna have to test free agency. Like, yeah, I'm not even addressed. Yeah, we're not even talking. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna see what your value is on the open market. 120 is a little too rich for my blood. If
I
somebody's willing to pay it, then I mean, somebody's willing to pay it. Best of luck to him. I know it's kind of tough, right? Because he's been on the roster, since I mean, I don't want to say since drafted, but for a very long time. A very long time. Like when I think of Sabonis, I think of solid state.
Yeah, so I kind of talked a little bit what I think they should do. What is your advice for any new owner taking over this franchise?
I think the most important thing is, man, you got to do interviews with these players, man. You got to do interviews. You got to get a feel and figure out if these guys are serious about basketball. And then, based off of those, couple of rounds of interviews, man, you gotta start making tough decisions, and start to rebuild up that locker room. I think it's gonna be mostly a tear down. If I'm a new owner, I'm tearing it all down. I'm starting brand new. I'm putting new paint on the wall. Um, Whatever it takes to just
Yeah.
kind of
Well, you
excite
know,
the fan base.
yeah, man, I'm excited to see what city this franchise gets moved to, and get some new blood, some re-energize the franchise a little bit. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But we'll cut it here. Next time we meet, we'll talk about the mid four teams. Just so those teams right above the bottom four, not quite playoff teams, but not the dead bottom either. So we'll kind of put those guys on the hot seat the next time we speak.